Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. The voice of reason, getting busy, getting ready. The So What Morning Show's about to be lit. Can you guys hear the beats? Can you hear the music? Let me know. I see you guys in the chat room is coming in. Let me know if you can hear the beats and the music. Let me see if I got it right here. Yep. I don't like that unless I can move this. Now we getting better. One, two, 1, 2. The test is going well. Hey, Kev, let me hear your test. Test. Oh, we can't hear you at all. That's because your mic isn't on. When she gets a chance, she's going to turn your mic on. Hey, let's bring it back to the top. Hey. They said, what's happening, Kev? In the chat room, they talking. And you already know Jeff Brown's gonna be late because he doesn't give a fuck. This is Lionel Richie. Stuck on you. Find a voodoo fight a sheet. /dash talk. Yeah, there's Kev. 323-230. 44-45. Hey, beats gotta slap though. These beats tickle.
They tickle?
Yeah. These is Jeff Brown beats. I fuck with Jeff. Jeff got music though. He got musicality.
Yeah, he does.
I fuck with his beats.
I like Jeff beats.
But you know how I get down. I like that hot monkey lava. We're gonna have a great show today. This shit is. What is that? I hear like some crazy.
That is the quiet storm. That's the quiet storm.
Yeah.
That's like rain.
Yeah. We've got 2 minutes until the show starts. Oh, we doing. Hey, look at. I put it in the description. So what current event show? Back by popular demand, people wanted us to do another current event show. So we're gonna cover some shit that's going on in the news currently, and we'll set that up. All right. Peter Joseph in the building. Hey, get that chair and put him on this mic right here. That one right, yeah. Grab that chair and just pull it over there. Peter Joseph, the creator of the Zeitgeist movies. My man. Hey, do you have another copy of your book? Because I need to put it in front of everybody. It's about to go down up in here, y'all. So look, everybody that's in here, I want you to like. I want you to share. Like, share. We got 60 seconds, Adita, until we go live.
Actually, I set up. I found this place that sold. They were going out of business.
And listen, this is what I need everybody to do.
Selling,
Hey, Kev,
selling green screens on
and Pete, everybody move this way so we can get in the shot. Okay. What happened?
So you ended up doing a green screen. You didn't use the white screen?
No, I
just thought it'd be a little easier for you to use
what?
the white cyclorama.
No, yeah, I was. No, the white screen.
That's whack.
The white screen was cool, but I wanted to put in some stuff.
Right.
So I did a green screen, and that was hard.
All right, look.
Oh, really?
We got to go live, so.
So is this thing working over here?
Yeah, we got to go live.
Maybe. I'm not sure if this is functional right here. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. Oh, okay. That's why you switched these?
Okay. Split cord?
Let's get it popping.
Oh, okay.
It's 11 o'clock. We got to go live. Give me a fat beat and let's do it.
Well, this thing's not working.
There we go.
This is a splitter? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
All right, let's go. Oh, this is how I start? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building. Back by popular demand. You on the dig? I was asked to do a current event show. You know, we always hit with hard-hitting topics, right? We always be talking like wild, cultural, political, relationship, all types of wildness. But there are certain things going on in the world right now that need an intelligent round table of super geniuses to tackle it. I'm saying,
I'm just kidding.
this is where we at. We are, just look at us as the Watchers in the Green Lantern Corps.
Perfect.
I don't
That's
have
dope.
any hair,
That's
so I
dope.
qualify as a watcher.
There you go. Me too.
Kev doesn't
Me
have
too.
any hair.
There
He
you go.
qualifies as a watcher. But Peter,
You may be a lantern in the lantern.
you might be a
Corps.
lantern.
A couple more years, I'll be a watcher.
Couple more years. Oh man, it's about to go down in the town. Welcome to the So What Morning Show. This is the first show I do on Mondays. Of course, I have 2 shows. But before we get into the topics that we're gonna cover, wait, this shit is just not banging for me. I need shit to bang. Turn this music up, turn my mics up, turn the DJ up, turn it up. Dash Talk Radio, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, in the building right now. Let me hit you with this. Before I get to the topics, we like to promote products. I got a couple of books. The first one is from my guest, the producer, director, writer. You got to give all the, you know how Prince gives himself every credit?
Yeah, right.
Finger Snaps by Prince. Eyelash Flutter by Prince. You know,
Eyelash Flutter.
he puts all his shit in
Finger
there.
snaps.
We got to give Peter Joseph his credit.
Finger snaps.
This dude created one of the most mind-shifting movies ever, right? Independent film ever. And a lot of people wanted to hate on him, try to come out and debunk it, and, oh, well, this ain't true, and that is, shut up. You just mad this man attacked your shit and broke it down.
Right.
Mind-shifting movie, the Zeitgeist series. Oh, the Illuminati and Krishnamurti, and see, he was a theosophist. And shut
to
up!
see it. You have to see
You
it.
gotta go see the
Man,
Zeitgeist.
yep.
If you've never seen Zeitgeist, you really don't understand what's going on.
changed the game,
It
man.
changed the game. It did. He has a new book. You under dig? And see, they in the chat room right now. Somebody said that shit was fire, and it was. Relationships have ended over the Zeitgeist.
That's true.
You mean Jesus ain't real? Nah, nigga, it's just over. It's over. Jesus is dead. What? I'm sorry. He has a new book, The New Human Rights Movement. Reinventing the Economy to End Oppression. Peter Joseph. Let me get this, founder of the Zeitgeist Movement. Let me get this on camera so y'all can see it. Whoop. I want everybody to go out and cash mob Peter Joseph, the New Human Rights Movement. Gosh, reinventing the economy to end oppression. Don't play yourself. You better get down with the get down. It's about to be crazy up in here today because we're going to cover a gang of stuff. It's a lot of people just able to get into our studio. Jesus. Okay, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know I'm high off that shit. You know what I'm high off of. Total package energy. Greatest energy shot in the world. Greatest energy shot in the game. You under dig? Neural enhancer, B vitamins, stamina sustainer, energy boost, antioxidant. Listen, I left Fresno on Saturday night at around 11 o'clock. My son had a game, so I was up there. Peep game. You under dig? I was tired as shit because the night before I didn't get any rest. I was tired as shit. 2 total package energy shots had me on trip driving all the way back from Fresno. When I tell you I was turned up coming back from Fresno, my daughter was mad. She was in the back seat. She wanted to sleep. Couldn't sleep. Because I had that Public Enemy banging. All the albums, just mega mix on Public Enemy status. I was turned up.
Did she hate Public Enemy?
No, she don't hate it. She just wanted to sleep. You under dig? She just wanted to sleep. Total package energy, though. I sponsor these guys. I love these guys. Their product is dope, and it's inexpensive. I suggest everybody in here get 3 cases. It's hundreds of people in the chat room right now. Get 3 cases a piece. Let's all go out and push it. TotalPackageEnergy.com. My homeboy is here. Jeff Brown. It's just what he's going to do. He's going to be late. We don't pay him, so that's part of it. Like if we paid him and he was late, we get to cuss him out. But because we don't pay him, it's kind of just...
CPT.
It's just kind of like the norm. I'm not going to be here on time. Fuck you. Okay, cool. All right. Weed Juice.
And then we're moving along.
Ladies and gentlemen, Weed Juice is in the building. My homeboy Hassan McCullough has an incredible juice company. Weed Juice. Not W-E. It's O-U-I. French. Oui, oui.
Yes.
Great juice company.
Yes.
Love this brother. Grew up with this brother. Grew up with his brothers. Saw him grow, evolve as a man, as a student athlete, as a standout in our city. Pasadena, rap, whoop. Okay, sorry. Saw him do his thing.
Inglewood.
Love this dude, man. And to be able to support him week after week and his juice company means a lot to me. I'm urging everybody in here, go support my man's juice company. Do we have any hookups? Because we're a hookup culture.
Yes, we do. Is this mic on?
Yeah, your mic is on.
So we're doing a special right now. For the next 2 weeks, 20% off juice. You get 20% off instead of 10% off. The next 2 weeks, just put in the code 20% off juice.
There you go. I could smoke a bag of that if I smoked, my nigga. Okay, cool. So, more things to promote. I had to bring this package in because I didn't believe it. This package, everybody knows what this symbol is, right? Right? We know what this symbol is, right? What is this?
Amazon.
This Amazon. I thought I was being robbed. You know, because I'm skeptical. You know, I'm a skeptical motherfucker. And skeptical motherfuckers create illusions. Shit it don't even be a problem, but skeptical motherfuckers will create a problem because they skeptical. So this dude on Instagram hit me and was like, yo, man, I just got your book from Amazon. I said, hold on, pimp. I don't sell my book on Amazon. You can only get the Kindle version on Amazon.
Somebody reselling your
I
shit?
said, wait a minute. Send me a motherfucking picture of this book.
Reselling your shit.
The dude sent me a picture of my book. I said, oh, shit, nah.
Resale, baby.
Somebody done back engineered my book. This is some shit. So, what unbeknownst to me, and the universe is crazy because it just locks you in. It's like synchronicity and you don't even know, right? So here I go. I fucking check what's happening. And what's happening is I ran out of physical books because I was selling the physical books. But I forgot that a friend of mine had the password to my Create space. And I had a conversation with her. And I told her that I was out of books. So she went to the Create space and hit the publish button. So I was like, oh, okay. All right, everything's cool. So for people who've been wanting a physical copy of the Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship, you can get this motherfucker from Amazon now. I didn't know.
God damn it.
But when I tell you I was turned up, like, hey, who's stealing? Who's stealing from me, nigga? I was pissed for a second. Hey, give me one more beat. And then let me hit you with this one. I've been getting strong support for the new CD with me and fucking Dr. Alan Berger, PhD. When I tell you I've been getting strong support, the support is so strong, man. Like, Antonio Moore wants me to do his show Friday night just on relationships. He wants to ask me questions. He wants to introduce me to his fan base. I mean, the feedback from this CD is crazy. First off, your face looks like it's begging. I can't hear you. But the expression looks like, where's mine? Okay, cool. All right, just in case, my nigga. Because it was a begging face. Let me get my Krishnamurti voice. You come to me like all the others with a begging bowl. Hey, go to my website right now, IamZoeWilliams.com, and get your copy of Love Matters Revealed. If you order it today, I will mail it out tomorrow. I'm telling you, this is a game changer, relationship game changer. Love Matters Revealed, Zoe Williams and Dr. Alan Berger. All right, and then final thing here for me, that beat is knocking. Can you turn it down just a taste? That shit is Christ alive. I feel like I want to save it, like it's an hour and later. Yeah, Jolly Rancher even. All right, so one other thing, I need everybody in the chat room to hit the like button and also hit the super chat. We got to use the super chat today. Long and strong, the long way. Super chat, super chat, super chat. All right? Anybody who hits us with super chats, we will shout you out. Let me go over to Kevin real quick because he's got something to promote, and then we're going to get into today's topic.
Yeah, I just released the Face of the Dragon documentary on my the Real Nagas YouTube channel. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, go to the Real Nagas YouTube.com/Real Nagas and check that out. But if you want to see more videos like that, I will be releasing them on my Patreon channel. So if you want to see the first plays of those videos, because who knows when I'll release them on the YouTube channel, go to patreon.com/Real Nagas and check that out. And when you donate or when you subscribe, part of your money goes to the Cop Stop Guardian app. So get over there and check that out. Hook it up.
Well, here we go. Let me just do this. Mr. Peter Joseph, the creator of the Zeitgeist movement and films, has joined us. Peter, you said that the first time you met him.
Exactly.
Okay, so stop acting weird. We're on the radio, Jeff. Jeff, we're on the radio.
Oh, shit. That's hilarious.
Jesus. Peter, you got something to promote, man? I know you do. Let's do it. Other than
Promote?
your book? Yeah.
Trying to promote some peace and some rationality.
That's
right?
not going to happen.
No, I appreciate the plug, you know, the game we all have to play.
Yeah, man.
But where you want to begin, you know, how I jump into this. Did you have questions? Did you really
No,
go
I just,
through the
this
book
is
there?
just our.
Oh, I'm
this
not
is
trying
just
to
our-
promote nothing. No,
You ain't got nothing to promote?
The book's right there. You've done that for me.
Okay, cool. So we go take a quick break, and when we come back, I've got current events. This shit's about to be crazy. Yes, current events. Yes, Jeff. If you were here on time, you would have met him off air. You could have got your excitement out of the way, and shit would have been cool.
You know how many times I've heard his voice say this while I was high?
Yes, I got a PayPal link. It's ZoWilliamsOrders@gmail.com. Hit us up, promote it. This topic is about to be nuts. We're going to take a quick 35-second break, and we'll be back shortly. The Zoe What Morning Show. Deuces.
This is how it sounds when the hood go bang. This is how it sound when the hood go bang. Yeah. This is how it sound when the hood go bang. Yeah. Here we go. I said this is how it sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Zoe What Morning Show is back. We have to find a perfect balance of the background beat. Too loud, and we're getting punked by the beat.
Yes.
The beat is now M'Baku. So if we start barking at you, Pete, it's only because in the spirit of
We
Black
do not
Panther,
want you to speak, and we were going to feed you to our children.
you do not speak.
You do not talk.
You do not talk.
I like how it's just a big soundtrack. You know?
Oh,
everybody says it gets the soundtrack, so it gives it all rhythm. It's good. Like in
Man.
a movie, like
It's-
I'm narrating a movie.
It's about to go down. So look, today's topics are revolving around a lot of shit that's been going on in the world that needs to be addressed by our think tank. All right? Jeff, you've been getting a lot of positive feedbacks, right?
Absolutely, yes.
From our last, kind of current
joint.
event
Oh man, it's
situation,
been on fire.
right?
Yeah.
And when things get on fire, Jeff doesn't know how to savor. He wants to just continue to fuck with you about it.
How about it?
We got to get to do another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to hit one more time.
Yeah. That's my saying. That's my approach with weed. If one pull is good, then 6 must be better.
All right, so let's get right into it. President Trump has a great idea to some.
That's a lie right there. You could have stopped at great idea, but go ahead.
You're not supposed to drink in here, Jeff. You're the only one that don't follow the rules. You come late.
Oh, really?
You drink on the air.
What's wrong with this one?
That
It
Oh,
came
it
like
just
that.
settled?
It came
Okay,
like
never
that.
mind.
it came like that. I don't know.
And that one? And
Yeah.
nobody else?
Anyway, President Trump hits us upside the head with a quote unquote great idea, which is in order to combat shootings,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Let's arm 20 to 40% of the nation's teachers. Now, 20% of the nation's teachers equals 640,000 teachers with
That's
straps.
crazy.
Not the teachers I went to school with. You don't want to do
I'm just, right?
that.
Now, that sounds like pure malarkey to me. But
Okay.
you got to always look at it through the filter of ageism, racism, sexism, and classism. So if you look at it through the filter of racism, the motherfuckers who are getting sent to detention the most
All right.
or getting expelled the most might be African American males.
Right.
So I would venture to say that the motherfuckers getting shot the most would be African American males within the classrooms. That's just me, right? When we look at the white shooters, because they're white, they're white.
Okay. Caucasian.
My question is, black men get dragged through the mud for not being there and not being good fathers. What kind of fathers raise a mass shooter on the white side of the game? A mass murdering shooter. He got his daddy at home, got generational wealth,
Right.
right? Maybe that they living in their grandparents' home that was bequeathed
Right.
on the bed.
Right.
Right?
Bequeath.
Right.
I'm just saying,
Right.
what can we deal with that?
Yeah.
Is Donald Trump out of his Well, that's
Oh,
easy.
Yeah, come on now.
I want to get your thoughts on Donald Trump's solutions
With the gun.
with the guns.
My first thought is generally black people need to separate just so they can heal. So
Nah, there's too many niggas working to keep this shit together.
exactly. There's too many of this. What you talking about? Massa gave me his shirt. It didn't have but one hole in it.
Live right
Yeah,
down the
too
street
many
from
of
Massa, nigga.
Yeah. Number one, we need to only a fool lets his oppressor teach his children. There's that. We should be
Okay.
teaching our own children.
You
Two.
keep Savior's Day? Is this what's going on?
Bro.
You on some
okay,
Savior's Day
asked,
shit?
you
Okay, cool.
asked.
There we go. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm chilling. I took one pull this morning, so I'm right where I need to be.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Two, this entire mass shooting phenomenon comes down to, in my opinion, one thing: the lack of desire to profile white males.
You mean white identity extremists?
Yes, white
Not the
identity-
black,
Yes.
not the BID, but the
Do not wanna deal with
WIE.
WIE.
Oh.
Yes. Two words
The
will knock
wheeze.
all this shit out. Metal detectors. None of the schools where them white kids got killed had metal detectors. Why? Because if you put a metal detector in front, that's a big fucking metaphor for we don't trust young white males.
Hey,
For that outfit get fixed-
this is the future of our country. Young white males.
No, that's a,
We have to trust them. What
if
are you talking about, Jeff?
That's the future of the
You're
country.
fucking up.
That's the future of the country if you got a time machine and you can go back to 1940 because In 20 years, none of this will be leading rich, white, male, or what's the, it's rich, white, male, and one more that I'll think of a little later that has nothing to do with who leads what. Everybody is and I feel sorry for you because you came with such a great fucking movie, but it's just the truth.
Okay, make your point, babbler.
Make your point, babbler.
Babbler. Speak and move on.
My point is that this system has eaten everything and now it's eating itself because you just can't look in the mirror and go, hey, white dude, you're crazy.
Wow.
You're just not gonna do that.
You
So
can't.
he's gonna let his kids die. I also think it's a grand route to get us
That-
to give you
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The same thing you did to
Okay,
France.
you,
The same
you
thing
can't make
did.
everybody's point.
Okay.
I think you made a really good one. And then,
Okay.
And then you pass
Now
it
pass
on.
the ball.
Yes.
Puff puff.
This nigga's LeBron James. He's dominating the ball. Jesus. Thank you, LeBron. Kev, you want to finish the point? He crossed over in your lane.
And another thing.
No, I do think it's like Jeff was saying, it's a mass plan to get everybody, up in arms. But it's still on the distraction plane while they still fuck up everything with the government. They just got to keep you distracted. But Trump's point of arming teachers, that's bullshit. However, I don't disagree with you should have somebody armed at school when this shit happens. Because if you're gonna have all these, allow all these guns to be in America, you got to have something to protect kids and they call these what they call no gun zones. If you're gonna have a no gun zone, then anybody can just roll in there and shoot up anybody. So you got to have some type of balance. You can have some type of security service. You know what I'm saying, on schools where when this shit happens, they can jump. They can jump into action right away. But you got to have
But that
something.
sounds like our schools.
What do you mean?
Right.
Go to
Dorsey.
Morningside.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Oh,
to
right.
Dorsey.
Yeah.
Go to Inglewood.
Go to Crenshaw.
Yeah, dude on my campus was named Super Cop. He was actual marshal who went
Right.
his whole time.
When I was in junior high-
he would be working at our school.
When I was in junior high, we had a real life Pasadena policeman.
Right.
Yep.
He had an office.
Yep.
Popo Post.
Wilson Junior High.
Yep.
His name was Rodney.
Man,
Rodney was on campus
Me too.
in uniform. Like, what's happening, my
Rodney
nigga?
O was
Peter, tell us your thoughts
Well,
on the commander in chief.
what's behind all this trend? It's money, man. The NRA lobbies the Trump administration. So, 600 and some thousand teachers getting guns, that's a windfall for the gun
for the-
production
oh my
companies.
God.
How about it?
So
How about
that
it?
goes in the territory of what this administration's about, which is business, and ruthlessly so, mafia level.
Corporate.
Wow.
So that's what you'd expect from him. That's exactly what you would
So
expect.
it looks like a solution, but what it really is a business
The
solution.
very idea.
It's a
totally.
deal.
Exactly. It also feeds that nonsense, that Wild West notion that this tribalism.
gun
that
against gun.
You can't possibly have a stable society that cares about
Right.
itself. You have to give everyone a gun because everyone's terrified of everybody else.
Wow.
As though gangland reality is supposed to be the reality, which
Talk
is a
to me-
terrible way to think.
Talk to me about the production of social fear. Because that's really
Good level.
the religion of
Yeah.
America is fear. Talk to us.
You keep people obedient by keeping them scared. That's an age-old tactic. Or you keep them at war with each other, of course. So you have the power class, and then you have the lower classes that fight amongst themselves. Crime, terrorism. The FBI and the CIA, the FBI specifically was profiling the Parkland shooter for a long time. Numerous reports, exceptionally so. Not just like somebody made a report about a YouTube comment and it goes into.
Exactly.
This was very deliberate over months and
Yes.
months, and you realize the CIA and the FBI, they don't really care about anything related to public safety.
At all.
They don't need to,
At
because
all.
the more crime there is, the more it buffers them. The
Right.
more it gives them power, more money goes to them. The FBI and the CIA, let's go back to September 11th, not one agency were created. So what you could, at one side of it, there's always the eon of power and dominance coming from the upper class, which is heavily conspiratorial, but at the same time, there's a mechanism inside of it. There's a feedback loop And we all become victim to that because we all become afraid of each other. And we start to say, well, I guess I just need to carry a gun around all the time. But that's exactly what the society wants you to think. That's exactly what the power establishment wants. It's the reverse with the kind of, belligerent, basically the Trump-induced white redneck community that thinks the government is the enemy of everything.
Here we go.
And now they're going to take our guns and we can't fight government. First of all, to anyone listening that thinks that, the government could wipe you out with its military power, even if every single person had an AK-47.
Right.
They have satellite, they have microwave weapons, they have shit
sound
that would just
weapons.
paralyze you.
Listen here, Peter. Listen here, Peter. You are leaving out the killmongers of our society, these incredibly athletic Negroes. We're going
I will slap
Why you sound like
the
Howard Cosell?
shit out of you. These these super
Negroes.
niggers.
We're going to have to guard ourselves against the super predators that were bred here from our mistake in slavery.
George Bush, Howard Cosell.
I'm just saying.
George Cosell.
There's a doctrine of fear
Totally.
out here, and they're pushing it like a motherfucker, and then they're funding the solution. That was the whole purpose. Here's the doctrine. The people believe. Now I fund the so-called solution, which really isn't a solution.
Well, before I forget, let me comment on that. What makes one of these guys? Whether race aside, youth aside, there's been a pattern of going postal. Basically, it started in the 1980s, right? My father was a retired postman. He watched this stuff happen, not in real time, not in person, but he understood the dynamic of serious business oppression, as the post office was, which gravitated to other things. Just they destroy your mentality. You're overworked. You feel no reward for what you're doing.
Right.
So that slowly started to evolve, and then suddenly it got to guns in church, and then of course guns in school. So now it's just any kind of civic expression. Someone gets a gun, they've had enough, and they go and they kill someone, and they usually kill themselves. Now, there's a book I want to recommend to folks by Franco Berardi. It's called Heroes, Mass Murder and Suicide. And what he does is he chronicles tons of people that have been doing this around the world, specifically the U.S., of course, because that's our trademark now. School shootings, people flipping out. And what he comes to the conclusion of is that you have a society that has ripped away people's sense of value through competition, through being employed in jobs which are effectively extrapolations of ancient slavery. You've been put in debt. You have no purpose. This goes across the board now, and people don't have any meaning. And then they have this whole sense that, neoliberalism, you're in this world, you have to fight for everything you have. You're alone, basically. And that has bubbled up in the U.S. specifically more than any other place. And something snaps. And basically you have a public health disaster of people that statistically, you take 1,000 people, you put them in a certain condition. Not everyone's going to flip out, but a certain small percentage will.
Flip
You'll be able
out.
to track this. This kind of thing's not stopping anytime soon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just going to get more and more bizarre.
So are you
So I said
saying
you need to arm the school.
Are you saying the government is producing
In part.
nutcases?
Well, it's the social system, man. It's the whole of a society, the sickness that's been bred. Government doesn't have an interest, as I said, to solve the problem. They just want to maintain it. As long as no one's walking into Congress with an AK-47,
They're good.
Yeah.
they're not going to.
Yeah.
we're fine. They're not going to come in here.
But you can't. That's what I talk about
The
in this
armed
book a lot.
athletic Negroes. They're not going to come
You
here.
got a social system based on exploitation and fear and people fighting amongst themselves while.
Ball game, and they still didn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Congressman got shot.
Instead, they
still didn't do
politicized
shit.
it and blamed Bernie Sanders and people that were supporting socialism. Ooh,
So I want to ask everybody here that's on the panel. This is our makeshift watchers panel, all right? Watchers from the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I'm bald. Kev's bald. We are watchers by default. You and Peter have hair. You guys are in the Lantern Corps. So
That's fine.
we have a panel here, and
That's fine.
we want to break this shit down.
All right.
Michael Moore. I want to get you guys' opinion on Michael Moore. He equates the NRA to ISIS and says they are a terrorist organization. Agree or disagree? Jeff Brown.
I wouldn't go that far
Why?
because I think what the NRA is most responsible for, it's almost like calling Jerry Springer a violent, ignorant, crazy motherfucker just because he sponsors violent, ignorant, crazy motherfuckers. Jerry Springer is here.
Well, nigga,
Do
hold
something,
on.
do something with a knife.
Wait, hold on. Backpedal on that logic. I just want to see if it was circular or not. Say it again. Or
I said,
the fuck just happened?
comparing, you stupid. Comparing
Will it come
it-
back around?
All right. Comparing the NRA to ISIS, and I get where he's going with it. And I'm going to have to read, I haven't read the article, but just in the shit I'm working with right in here.
Mythbusters.
Yes. I'm working with Chicago High School Public Education from the 80s and Mythbusters.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. To me, he is more, the NRA is more like Jerry Springer in that we not going to do it. We just going to give you the shit to do it. Like back in the day, my cousin.
But that to me, that sounds crazy. Just as crazy.
Oh
as-
no, I'm not downgrading. It's crazy.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
just putting the crazy in the right box.
Okay, so there's levels of crazy.
They're on
So
the same level.
it's a
They just
crazy
in the wrong
labyrinth?
box. What's that?
It is a crazy labyrinth you're
There's
building.
there's a Maslow's hierarchy of crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fucks with now. See, I can see that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah, these are the NRA is just they pimps. They just greasing the tracks for this shit because
Got
they
it.
got the paper.
Got
They
it.
got plenty of paper, and that's black people's problems. Okay, I'll get into that in the rant.
Okay, cool. Kev.
Yeah. So the NRA, first, most people don't understand the NRA really started jumping when the Black Panther Party came on. When they started walking around town with guns in public, they were like, white people were like, oh shit, like, brothers walking around the city with guns out in the open, like fuck this. So that's when they really started pushing that Second Amendment shit, when they saw actually the Black Panthers were doing it. But so the NRA though, the reason they have so much power is because they're a 501c4 organization, whereas most political organizations
501c3.
yeah 501c3. Which
Oh,
means you
hold
can't-
on. Let me just ask. You're not an FBI agent. You're not a CIA agent. How the fuck you know what
Because
they're?
Cop Stop,
What's going on,
Because
man?
Cop Stop Guardian is a 501c4 organization.
Okay. See, you out here starting some other
Yeah,
shit.
big old pimp,
So-
you.
Shit.
So
okay.
Cop Stop, but so
What's the
50
difference?
A
What's the difference?
501c4 organization can they can lobby politically. Okay, so and just they just can't be made up for political reasons. However, they can have they can lobby
political sway.
They can have political sway,
Mm-hmm.
whereas a 501c3 cannot. You're totally barred from that. So with that, they can lobby legislation. Politicians like Rubio and all the rest of them. Most politicians have gotten at least $3 million from the NRA, whereas like then Trump has gotten like almost $8 million. So with that type of power, when you can lobby legislation, you can pretty much do anything. But most people don't understand the structure of why they're set up and why they have so much power. The NAACP is a 501c4 too, but they're controlled, so they won't go that far. They can't go as far. But those are the type of organizations you have that type of power politically.
Okay, I can smoke a bag of that if I smoked. Peter.
Well, so building on that, these are business lobbies basically. So you go back to like the tobacco industry, man. They fought like mad, billions of dollars in investment and counter research, scientific papers. You go through all that, kind of like what we're seeing with climate change. You've got all these massive, the Koch brothers, all this money going in. So whether it's trying to keep business going as usual through the coal industry, whether it's trying to keep people addicted to cigarettes, this is just another example of business power run amok. So you have to keep people with their guns. But the difference with the gun thing is that people have been conditioned to believe that they should be afraid of everything, and that an advanced society is an armed society. So is the NRA like ISIS? That's a bit of a stretch. I think Michael Moore is just being a little
He's trying
Hyperbolic.
to be hyperbolic, trying to be creative.
The NRA just sits back in their suits and watches everyone destroy themselves.
Pretty much.
As opposed to engaging in
Exactly.
destruction.
There you go.
Yeah.
On some Jerry Springer shit.
That's
so,
real
so,
shit.
so he fucked
Jerry
your,
Springer
so he
shit.
fucked your mother and your sister. Here, use the knife. Use the knife.
It came back around, man.
The NRA is this is Michael Moore's from his Twitter account at @mmflint. The NRA is a terrorist organization. Period. The media should speak of the NRA in the same way that they do ISIS. Total ISIS-inspired deaths in U.S. equals 79. Thanks to the NRA and the politicians they buy, we've had 1.2 million American deaths since John Lennon was shot in New York City. NRA kills kids. That's his tweet.
Yes, that's not right, though. If you really want to get at the bottom of it, of the death tolls in America, man, it's about inequality. There's so much inequality, socioeconomic inequality. That's the theme of that book.
Oh, we
the
about
more,
to get there.
The more unequal the society is, the more violent it is.
Wow.
There's a cat from Harvard. He's retired now. His name's Dr. James Gilligan. Amazing researcher. He's a prison psychiatrist. Great empathy for people that have been in prison. He spent decades doing that. And he wrote about violence and was at the head of the Harvard study of violence years ago. His core statement, and I can't repeat this enough, is that you want to reduce violence in society, reduce inequality. Period. Wow. That's the core driver. You've got people divided up, and people have more than others, and they have the perception of that. They have that feeling of it's about feeling poor. Because, you know, we have microwaves and air conditioners. The poverty line is what it is, but technology keeps rising. So that's the saving grace.
Right.
But when you feel like you're losing out, that's when the sickness starts to come. Deprivation.
When you feel like you just have to say goodbye to an opportunity that you can't afford. Like if you had the money,
or you're not inclusive.
That opportunity is yours.
Yeah,
if you had the resources, if you had the agency.
Sure.
There are a lot of people, like you're saying, who live without agency. But the thing that fucks us up is the hope, right? Because you don't have agency, but you have hope. Right. You can always believe that something better will come along, something will change. But a lot of time, hope lets people down because you wake up and you still don't have agency.
Right.
It's just some heavy shit going on.
Make a comparison to like Costa Rica, right? Costa Rica, very little violence. Almost no murders happen in Costa Rica.
Right.
Very rare. And they're very poor. But they're contained in their poverty, meaning that by the way, they had the highest happiness indexes, one of the highest.
How about that?
Because everybody broke.
Pretty much.
No,
so they have,
we good with what we got.
It's a different sense of values, though. So, you know, like, what do we really need? Like, what is
Right.
progress?
What is,
So we have mansions and that whole bling culture and everything that's happened since the 90s and the Trump, my God, he's like the poster child, like his gold-plated fucking walls and it's disgusting.
Right.
And instead of seeing that as a sickness, which is exactly what it is, people see it as what you're supposed to aspire to. Aspirational thinking and aspirational TV and aspirational media that just overwhelms you, that your success is only as good as what you have in your pocket. And that, carries over into lots of other things like politics, because you can't really be involved in politics without lots of money. So the system just feeds off of that narcissistic, deprived, scarcity-driven. That's another issue. Everyone thinks there's not enough to go around when you could solve poverty tomorrow.
Woo,
This is
come
a
on, man.
classist
Without
No, poverty is a social construct that they maintain.
This is a classist.
Well, it says it
Absolutely.
right in the Bible. The poor you'll have what you always. Doesn't
Exactly.
name them, but that's yes.
You going to the Bible, nigga?
Sure. I can preach out of Spider-Man.
Shit. Creflo change.
I'll end with one more point, though, before I forget.
Creflo change.
You guys are familiar with institutional racism. Coined
No,
as-
not at
yes,
all. Go
by
ahead and read it.
yeah.
by Stokely Carmichael. He made that term, in pop culture. He introduced it, made it popular, and that's an important concept. But there's another level to it called structural violence. Now, structural violence is the kind of interaction of things that happen in the social system. That poverty, for example, being the greatest example of it, has been found. And again, going back to the work of Dr. James Gilligan, 18 million people, as of 2 decades ago, die every year unnecessarily. Multiple Holocausts a year, all because of inequality and poverty. Now, no one gets up in arms about that because it's distributed across society, whether it's you die of a disease like heart disease that's directly linked to low socioeconomic status.
Cheap food.
Or you die in gangland violence in an inner city because of what's happened in African American culture, where people have been pushed into the red zones over the course of time from segregation, and you just fostered this deprivation that created a violent environment. Right. Or you have the ISIS and terrorists of the world that have had the same basic experience. They've been pushed by empire and backed into corners, so they grab fringe ideologies and they develop pockets of violence all around the world. So this kind of mechanism is constant, and it's not talked about enough, because if you talk about it that way, it means you have to indict the social system. It means the social system is fucked up, and no one wants to go that route.
You don't want to do that. That's not what you're going to do here. And let me tell you something. the really fucked up shit about it all, we got black folk who are pro-system
Yeah.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
will stand
Man.
in the way
Man.
of people standing up to say, let's indict the system.
The Stevens.
You got you got black folk that'll be like, white people are on autopilot.
Yeah.
Well, niggers are over there. That's fine. They're down. They're over there. There is a valley in between us and freeways.
And let's keep it that
They're
way.
over there. But there are black people that will stand up and protect the fences of a sick society. Krishnamurti, it is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society.
Not at all.
You got apologists for this society. And no one wants to say, okay, we have an insane president with insane ideas. But yet we wake up every morning and say, well, we got a few hundred more days until his presidency is over.
Not to-
right? No, it's just, you know what I mean?
It's a lot of people calling him insane. Just can't do shit about
But
it.
you know, I don't think he is the poster child of the
Exactly.
system.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
everything that the capitalist
A
system
walking metaphor
suggests.
for all of this.
And it wasn't, and Frank, you brought up the Black Panthers earlier. That was the last attempt at any kind of organization that actually
right.
went after capitalism.
That's right.
There's nothing since then, man. Everyone gave up and just started buying exercise machines and
started
pasta makers and
COINTELPRO,
fucking
man.
Right,
You
yoga.
can't start shit with COINTELPRO
Let's do
now.
some hot yoga. We'll forget about all of this shit. Let's get some
Infiltrate all your
Bikram
shit.
in here.
And as you said,
Some hot yoga.
Fuck it.
and as you said,
Hot yoga.
and last time I was with you, Zoe, you made the comment, and it stuck with me, is that basically the slave owners, the slaves decided to become slave owners rather than abolish the system of slavery that we still have today. That happens across all of society, that is indiscriminate towards race and creed and gender. On the highest level, it's indiscriminate because it's all about exploitation of anything and everything.
Wow.
Now, what's happened in different pockets around the world, from India to Africa to Latin America, you have the echoes of the first level, I guess you could say, of exploitation. You know, what was the driver of the African slave trade? It was money. It was
Right.
all money, and just get people there to replace the white indentured servants in America that were on a shorter stint. And you just took these people, you bought them from the kings, and it didn't even matter. Racism wasn't even an issue back in the early colonies. It was later. They codified it.
They created
they created
white.
a model. Exactly. They
Yes.
created black.
Let's make these people white.
So what does that do? That goes back to the system. And that's why I keep trying to point out to people is that if you want to end the racist stuff that's continuing to happen, the groupism and the antagonism, you got to do something about the system.
In
So
the,
it just keeps
in the
pushing it.
classes system, stop putting yourself in
Totally.
these different classes. I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm
Right.
black, I'm white, I'm this and that. Stop doing that shit. That's a way for them to categorize you and place you, and so they can say, all right, fuck with them right there. That's that. Right there.
Classism is racism's father.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Ooh. I always said classism is astronomy. Racism is astrology.
Yep.
That's good.
I've always said
right.
that.
That's really good.
Fucking classism is the science,
Yeah.
and racism is the religion, the belief.
Right.
Right? And a lot of times with the belief, motherfuckers ain't got a lot of facts. But the science is the structure of this shit. Like, this is how we're going to operate. And there was another article I want you guys to comment on. Like the reverse of the Columbine white boy. Right? I'm just sick of the world. My dad has a new job.
Right.
He's got a new wife. You know, all types
My
of
life is so bad.
my shit. You know, it's just a lot of bullshit going on. Sometimes their complaints are even less than that. It's I wanted to see fucking Nickelback. Yeah. Be like some bullshit going on.
Right.
Be like some real bullshit going on.
You call this a fucking espresso maker?
I want to see Nickelback.
Nah, but then there's this phenomenon. And it's encapsulated in this question. Why don't school shootings happen in the hood?
Because bullets cost too much. And
No, but I'm just saying. Look,
That's a lot
there's a
of
school.
bullets.
My homeboy is the head coach of a school right next to the Nickerson Gardens. And there is, it's not even an unspoken rule. It is a rule. The neighboring gangs say, we don't fuck with this school.
Yeah.
It's Verbum Day.
Verbum
Okay.
Day. Yeah,
Verbum Day,
Yep.
right there. And when I say right there,
Yep.
the football field, there's a fence, and then the other side of the
Yep.
fence
The
is the
game.
parking lot of the Nickerson Garden.
Yep.
So they don't fuck with the kids at Verbum Day. Because number one, it's a private school, it's a Catholic school, so they see those kids
Hey, them
attending
fool, they
those
got a
schools
chance.
as the best of the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he played football at Verbum Day, he played basketball at Verbum Day.
This is
He
the
got a
best of us.
chance.
Yeah, this
He
is the
might make it.
This is the best of
We're
us.
not fucking with
Right.
these kids.
Exactly.
Right.
I experienced that growing up in Chicago.
Somebody said Verbum Day, class of '89, baby. Whoa,
Yeah.
what up, Verbum? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
the
I was-
word of
and
God.
When I grew up in Chicago, and I'm gonna save them school books. Get your ass in the house. Go in the house, because the gangsters around the way
Yeah.
looked out for those. You
Yeah.
really didn't get caught up unless you was in that shit.
Right.
If you wasn't in it, they wasn't fucking with you.
true.
But that's gone. That code is gone. I'm glad to see it's over.
Listen, I've said this story a million times. We in Inglewood, my nigga. And my son is on the block in Inglewood. I had to be there to police the gang members who saw my son as a potential. This nigga could be in our shit. But what I recognized was they respected me because I had good game for them that was outside of the
Right,
street.
some other shit.
So
Right.
they be like, they call me Pops.
Right.
So now I start coaching them and mentoring them, and then they see my kid different. Oh, did he play hoop? Oh, he going somewhere else. We not fucking with him. So what I'm saying is,
And that is the order of the day around the way. Not
Right.
we not fucking with him. Don't nobody
Don't
fuck with him.
nobody's fucking with
Don't
him.
nobody fuck
Yeah.
with him.
So, and I'm not saying, there's this high air of nobility amongst gang members, right? But what I'm saying is just the way our neighborhoods were designed, we don't fuck with kids. We don't fuck with old people. We don't fuck with women. You get what I'm
They
saying?
don't fuck with the scholar cat. Remember my greenhouse that I used to live in?
Right.
My aunt died and I inherited a house, a greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived right in the heart of 30 Harlem Crips.
I remember that shit.
And
That big greenhouse.
Yeah, that big greenhouse.
This nigga
And
literally had a green
it was
house.
all super
Shit
green.
was lime colored.
It
The
was
Hulk
green.
house?
Dude, it was green.
This nigga
as
looked like a
fuck.
peppermint patty.
Green. Everything.
And I need
Hey,
200 gallons
I
of it
guess
today.
that shit was popping in the 50s. That's when that had it. But,
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what color. Okay, yeah,
uh-huh. So, but the cats on the street, everybody in the Harlem Crips, because I was friends with a couple of the OGs, they knew I was on some knowledge shit. So the whole thing was, don't nobody fuck with that house. I mean, that was the order of the day. And then I would have all these cats. I would have a gang of gang members in my living room watching Stephen Hawking. Like I had one day, I came out of the kitchen one day and I literally had like 10 gang members, killers. These is hardcore killers. They was sitting on the floor watching Stephen Hawking.
I remember Kev brought me to his house to do a lecture in his backyard. I'll never forget that shit.
Man, so they do respect. They respect what you were talking about. They respect when they see that you're trying to move and trying to be on something higher than that. They'll leave you alone. They protect that.
So let me just say, because we've had all of these movies. You remember that movie with Gangster's Paradise? What was the name of that movie?
Oh shit.
Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds. They always depict the hood school as the dangerous
Right.
school. What they should start doing is depicting the school in its truest light, and that is the resource deprived school.
Right.
Right.
Because the crazy motherfuckers, listen, my son and daughter spent most of their time in the Inglewood School District until they went to high school. But when they went to high school in the Malibu School District, that's when they start seeing crazy shit, motherfuckers doing drugs, and I don't mean weed.
Right.
They start seeing
Right.
Acid and shit.
cocaine and all type of wild shit. Like,
Designer drugs.
you in the dig? Like, that's when they started seeing the wild shit. So there's this stereotypical image that is perpetuated through the media that says the killmongers come from the hood, and we should be afraid of them. But at the same time, I believe white violence, white narcissism, all types of white craziness just gets seen as normal.
Yeah, that's just an echo of white patriarchy at this point. You can't adjust fast enough to be rational to see the root causes of this stuff. I want to say something going back to the Crips. Community resources for independent people.
Yes.
That's where it came from. Just like in Sicily, in the mafia, they were being beaten down by their environment, so they started their own groups and gangs. And honor is always going to be built into that to a certain degree. In a way, I'd almost trust gangs than I will a lot of other elements of society because it creates a kind of unity. I'm not supporting violence and
No, you just got down with the Crips.
Right.
You did it on the air. So tell you that right now, you're going to get jumped in on the break.
The old man, you beat me to it. I was like, I can call some cats to jump you in.
That's the new level of my work, right?
Yeah.
But, so, and then you end up with prohibitive economies, the scarcities, so the Bloods emerged, and of course the war, commenced. And that's just one example of what's happened across the world. But anyway, that was the point of honor. I think that, when you see the origins of these things, because the Crips came from the Black Panthers, it gives a different meaning to it.
Exactly.
You
The
have
gangs
to understand
came out
it.
of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like, because when you learn about this stuff in school, like I did, just gangs. They want to be gangs. They want to be killing people. This is just who they are, as though that's even remotely true.
Right.
It does create cultures of violence, and that's dangerous. Because when you get generations of violence, and that's the only way people know how to express themselves, well, that takes on a life of its own. That's tough.
Because whenever you say culture, what you're saying is social game rules. And whenever you say social game rules are no different than religious game rules.
Values.
It turns into dogma.
Right.
This is how we live. This is how we think. These are our beliefs.
Right.
And we already know beliefs mold reality.
Sure.
We know that. So shit, this is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the So What Morning Show. We in here turned up right now. Very heavy show. I don't know if y'all really want to get down with the get down, but we getting down with it. We about to take a quick break, and when we come back, Jeff Brown's intellectual rant. I don't know how this is gonna go. All right, cool.
Charge.
This is the studio from where I saw you last.
Yeah, man.
What's so I was asking you because I do a podcast too. I'd like to have you on at some point, by the way.
Let's do it.
But we've been fishing around studios. I'm just trying to.
I'm the fucking program director of the talk station. What do you want to do? The
Well,
fuck?
basically find a home for this podcast.
That's easy.
You got a place in Culver, but it's kind of small. This is nicer.
Yeah, there's 4 studios in here,
Okay.
so it's easy.
And is it continuous programming though? Like can you just come and do a one-off?
This is real radio.
Right. But if I want to record something, then
Absolutely.
okay.
Edit it. How long is your show normally?
An hour and a half. Depends.
See? So we don't do half, but you either go 1 or 2, and 1 hour is 55 minutes. 2 hours is an hour 55. We edit it in, boom.
Okay.
Peter Joseph show. It's over. We cook it with grease.
Is this camera like a straight-on camera?
This camera is broadcasting live right now through my YouTube channel.
Got it. But it's just one big fisheye, right?
Yeah, 150-degree angle.
Got it. Okay. All right, cool. I'll talk to you about that.
That's easy.
By the way, you gotta give me a copy of your book.
I do.
Dude,
I do. I'll get you one. That's easy, man.
are you familiar with a guy named Christopher Ryan?
No.
He wrote a book called Sex at Dawn. It's real famous. It's he questions basically monogamy.
Yeah.
It goes back to like hunter-gatherers.
Really?
You have him come on. I know relationships are an issue that you talk about.
Let's
So
do
you
it.
Get him on, you on.
And we could take off from the free throw line.
Yep. There you go.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you dig Chris. He's interesting. Real interesting.
I'm down.
He did a TED talk. I'll send it to you.
Please. And then we got other topics. I got a bunch of topics. We're not playing. Yeah. No copyright music. Yeah. Jeff, we waiting on you, pimp.
I had a call from my son's school.
You all right?
Yeah.
What's going on?
You
You look like you want to sock somebody.
I'll tell you why in a second. Oh, wait, no, me. Is this the rant? This.
We about to come back.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna come back in 2 minutes, 120 seconds.
Yes, sir. And you'll. Oh yeah. You'll.
This nigga's whole energy is
know,
off.
right?
We about to beat up.
Okay. Damn. No.
Switch your beat up.
My son.
Can they hear this music?
Huh?
YouTube.
Yeah, it's still on.
Okay. The Jeff Brown Chronicles of finger fucking the keys. That shit right there. That right there. Turn that shit up.
All the way up here.
You got volume there? Alright.
Okay. Fuck what nobody said. Broadway is kicking Dre in the face.
Alright, look, I'm gonna come back.
Sorry.
Now?
James Broadway.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building. It's about to go down. Hold on. Sorry. I'm over here fucking up. Sorry. Please forgive me. Sorry. I'm over here fucking up.
You don't fuck up much.
I'm just saying, see, my phone battery is about to.
You run some electricity through your phone. Why don't you just
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
run everything through your phone?
Here we
Run a
go.
little juice
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
Electricity.
Yeah, one of the funniest Smurfs to ever exist.
No, seriously?
The only beige Smurf.
The funniest cats that does not do stand-up comedy that I know is Zoe Williams. He got on stage one night and ripped, and then I don't know.
No, because it was a different thing. It was a bag contest.
So, Freeze
Love had me
and
up
Jeff Brown
as a bagger.
are two of many comedians
I
that
can
love
bag.
you very
Shit.
much. If you wanted to do comedy,
I did not want to do comedy.
okay.
No, he can bag.
No,
Freeze
he can
Love.
bag. He can bag. No, that's his thing. He's
Who,
bagging.
Zoe?
Zoe can bag his
Zoe
ass up.
got heat.
Freeze Love was asking me, yo, come to the motherfucking bag contest, nigga, because I know how you get down on the Jokey Smurf
Right.
side of the game. So I showed up and did the Jokey Smurf side thing.
And through flame.
I was killing niggas
Yeah.
too. Who was I going against? What's my man from?
The fat dude? The
No,
real-
I killed this dude. What was that dude? The actor comedian. He was in I Got the Hookup. The little short actor.
AJ Johnson.
Me and AJ
He's
went
killing AJ Johnson.
at it.
I ain't never seen AJ take it in the
Little
throat.
Ezel from Friday.
Ezel took it in the throat that night.
I was on his head like,
Yeah.
what? I was on him.
I think a great much of it was underestimation, so he thought he could start out in second gear with Zoe.
No.
And Zoe, when you know how the bell rings in a fight? Imagine in slow motion the hammer leaving the bell. By the time the hammer got here, Zoe kicked him in the
I'm on
face
your
4
ass,
times. So, across the ring on your ass.
Frank Dukes beat down.
Yes.
Oh, no. See, bagging is easy. Comedy.
It's a whole different
It's a
animal.
different thing.
Whole different animal.
So he asked me to be on the joke side. That was easy. So Jeff Brown has something that we like to call the intellectual rant. This is where this motherfucker goes in and just, he's a fool.
Summon the fool.
Wait, let me
Summon the fool.
Let me
Summon
say
the
it
fool.
like Boromir from Lord of the Rings.
Borderman.
You fool.
You gotta mean it from your soul.
You fool. Not with 10,000 men could you. I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
Jeff Brown,
That was
intellectual
on, that
rant.
was on yesterday. You
Yes,
saw
sir.
that shit yesterday.
Go ahead, Jeff.
All right.
Handle it.
I would be remiss on a conversation about the crumbling of society, gun violence, and the fact that I grew up in Chicago, if I did not dedicate this rant to my brother Chris, who is in the hospital right now, he's a U.S. Marshal. He was on without somebody suffering. All that extra you got, let's imagine we back down what you got to just $1 billion. And we took the rest, we could feed the earth with that. So the algebraic reverse of that is that those people who we can't feed represent all that fucking money you got. Gang members are just lost tribesmen. I cannot look at them any other way. See, here's the hustle. Here's what y'all did. We're going to take all the superhuman of them, the ones who can throw, run, catch, incredibly sing, dance, and we're going to pacify them with these coupons we call money. Then, what's left over in the ghetto with this lack of opportunity that we also created, we're going to stop by in the middle of the night and drop off pounds of cocaine for them to turn into crack and crates of guns. And then we're going to wait on the self-starters to stand up. The cats who didn't necessarily do well in school. If you consider young black males untrainable or unteachable, does that say more about them as people unable to learn, or more about you as an individual unable to teach? We're going to take the cats that rise up on their own out of this and say, hey, I'm going to do something. We're going to take them and make them kill each other, and the ones that are left over, we'll throw them in jail. So what does that leave? If we took and pacified the ones we could get a hold of to make money with, and the ones we couldn't, that rose up to do something, to do something with the scraps, with basically the chitlins of society that we dropped off, they're gonna make something out of that. If we get rid of both of those, then all we have left over is lost sheep. Let's ridicule them for being lost after we took their farmers. That's what you have. So when I look at gang members and I look at gang leaders, I have not met, and I know plenty of cats that sell that scum in the street. I haven't met a foolish one. I haven't met an unintelligent one. I haven't met one that you could not cut his cornrows, put him in a Brooks Brothers suit, and give him some time on the stock market, and he wouldn't kill with it. It's just what he wasn't getting. What he hasn't gotten. Votes cost money. In your life. Votes cost money.
Thank you.
And you didn't spend all yours on spinning rims and Jordans. You can't wait to give your money back. Until you start buying and leasing and selling politicians, I'm going to say that after we've had the right to vote for 50 years, and as a people, we haven't moved 50 feet. And we're not going to move another 50 feet until you figure out that those motherfuckers are for sale. Dear black politicians, what law, initiative, or even fucking idea that services black people specifically, not poor people, black people, what laws, ballots, or initiatives are you willing to go to the mattresses for? Dear black people who vote, if you do not ask those questions specifically of the people you vote for specifically, and you do not get specific answers in return, yo Jasper ass shade tree house coon ass is a part of the problem. Laws are what make rich white folk comfortable. That's all a law is. Used to be against the law to read. Used to be against the law to write because it made white folks uncomfortable. That's how we make law. Not for your interests, not for your children's interests, for the interests of people whose kids will never fight the law, they'll never fight the wars, that your children are sold that patriotism bullshit in order to go do. This is coming from a United States Marine. Don't send your kids off to die for shit unless they gonna die right next to some rich kids. Because they're probably not. Imbalance is wealth defined. My man on the end here, Peter Joseph. Shout out to Peter Joseph. Those of you who have not watched it.
I would like to get back to his.
To his shit?
Yeah.
I'm almost done. Watch Zeitgeist. Watch that shit, especially the Hoda the Boko Shot crew. Watch Hoda the Boko Shot, by the way, is just speaking in tongues.
Peter's face was like, oh God, I'm in another country. I'm in
That's hilarious. When white and black came into play, those words as a race, we had our first official smocks. Your skin is a smock, nigga.
Wow.
I'll say this and I'm done.
Really?
Hope is for shitty planners. Fuck hope. That's why you in what you in right now. If you look very closely at the Obama stickers when it first came out with Obama posters, they put that dirty 4-letter word right under his name, under his face, and let your dumb ass do the rest. Stop hoping, start playing.
Well, this one nigga right here, I fuck with him 100%, but I don't agree with everything he says, but that's what makes us friends. I'm going to say you're wrong on hope.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Hope is for artists. Hope is for creatives. Right? To me, hope is synonymous with imagination, creativity.
Not.
What I think you're talking about is blind faith in some shit. With nothing that's gonna come out, no plan. I put it in a relationship context. I was telling some other people, I said, dreams and fantasies are two different things. Dreams come with a work ethic and a blueprint.
How about it?
Right? And to me, that's born out of a creative process.
Yes.
Right? And to me, hope is part of that creative process. But just sitting around fantasizing, having a blind faith in some shit, that's, to me, I think that's what you're labeling to be hope. I think hope is essential to the creative process.
Not quite.
I believe.
Here are the 2 points where I disagree with that. One, the chief part of the creative process, in my opinion, is understanding that you don't really create anything.
Here we go.
You are a channel for creative energy.
Bam!
I thought you
That
was
is
with
awesome.
wait, hold on. I thought you was with Prince. This is some Michael Jackson
That's
dialogue.
awesome.
No. Well, the Prince,
Keep going.
Prince said the same thing. Prince said, I can't turn it off.
You're a conduit.
It comes to me and I let it out. I can't turn it off. You are a conduit for this. And you don't have to hope that comes from anywhere.
Thank you.
Okay? Hope, to me, the concept of
That's
hope,
it right here.
I can fuck
the
with that.
concept of hope
I like it.
implies that the core element of change is not in you. I sure hope this happens.
No, I think
I
that's
sure hope that happens.
the leap. I'm with you, but that's a leap. I think some people rely on that hope within themselves. You understand?
Semantics. I think
Yes.
you're kind of implying faith.
That's what I just said.
Because hope is an aspiration. It's a feeling. It's like I'm going to be positive, right?
No.
No? Okay. So
No.
I think we have different words.
Yes.
All those words
Hope,
actually mean the same thing.
We have different words in the English
Yeah,
language.
They all actually mean the same.
Etymologists
Hope,
pamphlet on that.
faith, trust all use each other to define each other. And belief.
Yes.
And belief. So
Right.
they're all the same word, really.
I guess we, let's use them like ingredients in making the soup that is your achievement. For me,
Oh, I like this.
hope is just a little. I might sprinkle a little hope in, but I don't. I'm a planner. I'm like, okay.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
This concept that whenever you have to hope for something, it is outside of your plan. Okay? Here, okay. I hope I sell 5 television shows this year. That's the hope. Here's the plan. I am going to write 20 treatments. I am going to push to get 20 meetings. I am going to sharpen my writing skills. I'm going to make myself available because those things are in my control.
Okay, so hold on. That's, nigga, you saying the same thing that a cook would say.
What do you mean?
Because a cook has a linear process by which they cook. They
Yes.
use ingredients.
Yes.
They follow the instructions of the ingredients.
And when you get to the end of it,
yeah,
have
and when
a
you get to
dish.
the end, the shit is delicious.
Right.
So again,
You can't go in the kitchen. I sure hope this shit gonna taste good.
what I'm fucking with you on is the measurement of the ingredients. I always say emotions
Right.
like seasoning salt. Seasoning salt can make a dish wonderful, my nigga. It can enhance
Right.
a dish. But too much emotions and too much seasoning can fuck a dish off.
The hell.
So the same thing. Too much hope and not enough work ethic
Right.
fucks off your life. Just sitting around in a tree somewhere hoping that the
Right.
street gonna change.
Oh, you
ain't gonna change the
That
street.
sure sounds like that
So we
sounds
saying the
like
same thing.
black people
So-
since 1965.
Again, I'm agreeing with Jeff.
Of course
about
you are.
about
That's
the
what you
hope,
do.
because it goes back to Yoda: do or do not. There is no try. So get the shit done. I mean, there's no hope. What I understand, most people think hope is positive outlook.
No, it
And
isn't.
so that's what most people kind of
Hope
believe.
and
it is.
positivity are not
But
even
that's
cousins.
But that's kind of what they believe.
How they not cousins?
How are they not
Hope
cousins?
doesn't equal optimism.
No.
What does it equal?
Hope equals candy coated optimism.
Nigga,
Okay.
I'm gonna
candy
jump out the
colored,
window.
okay?
Say something else circular again.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump out.
I'm following him. No, I'm following him. No,
I'm about to overshare.
It's fake optimism.
I'm about to overshare. When I came up with this concept to meditate, when I meditate, I sit and breathe and I try to count my breaths to 52 because that's 13 times 4. Every time I get to 13, I take a real huge breath. When I get to the end, I hold my breath and I say the following things to myself: positivity, creativity, organization, proactivity, follow through, abundance. If you follow these 5, you will fall ass over head into
that.
abundance. Now,
Oh, wait a minute. Jesus.
none of that has anything to do with hope.
Wait a minute. Let's just go back.
Yes, sir.
The universe is not designed in a linear fashion. Only the physical shit appears linear.
Yes.
At a deeper spiritual level,
It goes
shit
like
is
this.
not intuitive.
Yes.
So what I don't want you to say is this shit right here that I just counted on my hands will work, because inherently built into life, there's uncertainty.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't understand. This is why we got a generation of motherfucking brats running around here with attitudes, because they don't get what they want. The way the universe is designed is you're either going to get 3 things. You're going to get more than what you hoped for. You're going to get less than what you hope for. And rarely you're going to get exactly what you hope for.
Okay.
And it's usually some kind of weird ass mix between all of that.
Yes.
So it's not a fucking
So don't-
clear line. Like, you get people out there who hustle this.
Okay.
Who will hustle a linear, if you follow these 7 steps, I will get you from unconsciousness to self-actualization. That shit doesn't work that way. You've got to fucking get ripped apart by life and then put back together. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's
Okay. So okay. So I stand corrected. Don't start your day out with meditation. Positivity is bullshit.
that's not what we said.
I don't understand. I am so low.
But we do have a cot over here you can lay down on, so you can regain your composure.
I don't
nigga.
get it. Okay. So what you're telling me is that you don't
love this nigga,
start
man.
your energy with, okay, first off, what I can't do and what I don't have and who I don't know do not matter with regard to where I'm going.
What
That's
I'm
this
saying is, if
you're
you don't-
saying that this shit doesn't work for 2 words. Will Smith. You're telling me
Hold
that
on.
this underachiever.
No. What I'm saying is, people who have reached a certain level of consciousness understand it's more about acceptance than projection. They understand that. What Will is talking about is a form of projection. But the spiritual gurus and all these motherfuckers, they do this shit too. But whatever they get, they accept.
Yes.
Even if it's not exactly on point. What I'm saying is, in our society, which is a capitalist society, which is a materialistic society, it's a society that's based on accumulation. So you get a motherfucker like Jay-Z say, oh man, this spiritual shit really works. When he's rhyming to his wife, Hamdulillah. Nigga, you basing that off of what you've accumulated, what you've accomplished. The spiritual motherfucker does not have to accumulate in order to feel accomplished.
Absolutely.
So there's a different thing. There's an acceptance as opposed to a reception of things.
I think you may have you may have marginalized my concept.
Clearly I did.
Yes, you may have marginalized my definition of abundance.
Right.
I didn't mean abundance only in the accumulation of physical shit you can buy and sell.
I love Jeff. Man.
Okay, abundance, you can have an abundance of peace. You can have an abundance of wisdom. But if you, I just don't see how starting with positive, and for me, starting with positivity and not what I can't have, don't own, going into my creativity, what comes to me. Then I have to organize what just came to me.
I think hope is part of the human condition and we need it.
But I think he what he's saying is like hope leaves it out of your control. It just throws it
It's
out in the
something
air.
else.
No. Let's say it
Like,
this way. Let's say it this way. A certain type of hope. We have to make a
but
distinction.
that's what hope does, and we're talking about hope and optimism. So
let's get
if
the
you can start a project with optimism because you understand the steps that you are taking. They are correct steps that you can have optimism that your thing is going to come through.
Well, define the new and improved hope, the new and improved extra strength hope you're talking about, as opposed to the regular hope.
Yeah, we got to get you your hope upgraded because your hope is fucked up.
Yes,
Go ahead.
There's some fun things here though, because what you're talking about in a lot of ways is ritual, which is good.
Yeah.
Because people have to reinforce their confidence. They have to reinforce what they believe. You need ritual. That the humans are also wired for that too. It gives consistency for your performance and your thinking.
Exactly.
Which is why like spiritual practice, it might not have meaning in and of itself in the sense of, does meditation actually do something to help the world? Not necessarily. It does something to help you. I mean, there are people that would argue that you can meditate and change the world through consciousness and so on, but that's a different subject.
That has happened.
Okay, but when you deal with in the 1960s, what did they do? They said, we're going to go inward. Drugs, we're going to meditate.
LSD, Timothy Leary.
Yeah, so especially in the West. So you stopped complaining about the structures of society and said, we're just going to dominate ourselves. We're going to think our way out of it. And if I can get peace with the way society is, then I'll be at peace in general.
That was engineered, though.
Well, I think I'm not sure if it was completely engineered, but I think there's a bad intuition that people fell into, and they had no idea what else to do. They couldn't change society the way they wanted to. You saw how many uprisings and things that people attempting in the counterculture in the 1960s, and where are those people now? They ended up kind of
Corporate America.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're back into corporate America.
So my point here is it's a little bit
going
of
back into this
deviation.
building and get this check.
Is that the focus needs to move back towards the systems, as you pointed out, Zoe. We can do only so much with ourselves in terms of self-improvement. We have to realize that we're a part of something larger. And
You feel me?
And that has to change.
That's what I be talking about. But I got niggas in here that be going against the homie all the motherfucking time.
Fuck your hope. Go against that.
Yeah.
Fuck your hope.
Well, I'm still waiting.
No,
I'm still waiting on the definition between my hope and this extra strength shit.
No, but I agree with some of the shit you're saying because any idea can be used and turned into a dildo designed to fuck you in the ass.
Yes.
Right?
Well, going back to the Obama posters with hope.
There we go.
It's just a marketing gimmick, man. It didn't
Yes.
do
Right.
anything. We're not going to actually change policy. We're just going to hope.
No,
Right.
exactly.
What, a black president now. That's hope.
Yes,
apparently.
we're gonna take the first president in the history of the presidency and make him responsibility free for the black agenda just because he's black.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it would be awkward if he dealt with that.
Yes.
He's
yes,
black.
it's too awkward for him to deal with it. Because we're too afraid of Killmonger. So we're gonna make sure we get T'Challa in office.
Well, speaking of that, we might as well jump into it. Our next topic. Black Panther. You did a review. I did a review.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you about to
I'm
get
on the outs.
spoiled up out of
Oh,
here.
yeah?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
It's about to be
we
terrible.
about to fuck off your experience.
Kevin did it.
You're gonna be sitting in there going, fuck, I heard about this.
Well, here's the question I'll pose, though, because I'm being big into activist media or things that relate over into activism and culture. Does it serve catharsis or does it serve progress? Because catharsis means you're just running in place. Now, again, I haven't seen it, but does it? Which is the
I'm
two?
going to say catharsis.
Catharsis, okay.
That's what I'm
gonna say a little of both.
To me, I got. First off, let's just deal with a couple of things. Black people running around celebrating that it got $700 million as
For
if
whom?
we were the only ones
Right.
watching this movie.
Thank you.
Right.
We did not spend 700
$700
million.
million, my
Thank you.
nigga, we there.
No.
we
400
where?
million over in Europe.
Yeah, here are the stats right here because I got it pulled up because a lot of people, got it twisted. So here are the stats: $400,422 domestic, $400,000 foreign. Grand total $704,442.
So domestically, let's just say that would it be fair to say that we are 30% of that domestic number?
We're not 30% of the population in America. We're
Okay.
13%.
Yeah, but we spent $1.2 trillion
Do we? Because I need to see the
annually?
receipts.
annually.
Fuck all that. I need to see the receipts. We need to holler at Taco Bell, KFC, McDonald's. We need to holler at all the spots we be at to
Okay.
get receipts because I don't
Go
know.
look at the owners, what they driving and what they
okay.
living in. You can see
Okay.
that shit.
In your estimation, is that number high?
No,
It
no.
would sound
I
like-
would say the numbers that are coming back is this movie was pushed 40% by black consumers.
Okay, so let's say
40% of the revenues pushed
okay.
by black folk.
A push by black people. Okay.
Absolutely. We got out there.
40%.
We got out there.
40 times.
Okay, hold on.
I'm trying. Okay, I'm
Can
done.
I talk while you counting?
I'm trying to
Jesus.
count. Sometimes I have to count with my mouth. I'm just counting. I'm sorry. I'm just counting with my mouth.
So, you know how black people do with movies, man, especially something as powerful as this. It turns into a doctrine. It turns into some belief. I mean, black people running around wearing dashikis and shit.
Wakanda for life.
Wakanda for life, and there's Killmonger, and a lot of people are seeing.
There's Malcolm and Martin.
There's Malcolm and Martin. A lot of people are seeing T'Challa as a Mandela figure after he got out of jail, because before Mandela went to jail, Mandela was
on
that
some
motherfucker was
some
radical.
hardcore shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he gets out of jail, he's
137.
but he's a diplomat. You understand what I'm saying? It's a whole different vibe. Like, so
We should attack the white people right after my nap. What?
Right
So-
after
He's
your nap.
137.
So I'm just saying, like, it's a whole different, but the agenda is different. It's more in support of the system that exists currently. And we already know what the system is.
Right.
You go to South Africa to practice the Holocaust on Africans before you actually
on,
go do
man.
this shit
Come on.
in Germany. So you get what I'm saying? You got white people in Africa right now who were born and raised in South Africa can come to America and classify as African American. So, it's just a whole nother get down.
Elon Musk, isn't he one of them?
So my point about this movie is, do you think the narratives that it covered, pro, con, good, bad, do you think it's a good thing for African Americans? Or do you think it's another grand distraction? I'm leaning towards the distraction side.
I
of the
think
game.
it's possible for it to be both.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think one, the big pimp game is that the core theme of the movie is that black people were so upset with and so at odds with white oppression around the globe that they started killing each other. Did you notice that? How many white people did the black people actually kill in Black Panther?
We're fucking the movie up for you, by the way.
Yeah, it's all right. That's all right.
shit.
That's
Put
all
it
right.
this way.
That's all right.
T'Challa joins forces with a CIA agent.
That he saved, whose life he saves.
Wait, the CIA is pissed that T'Challa's daddy lied to them about the amount of vibranium they had. Until the bad guy, another white dude, said, "This nigga lied to you."
Right.
They got a mountain of this shit,
Yeah.
and they've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
So, let me just say, white people have the biggest yet smallest balls on planet Earth.
Yes.
Because the way the CIA agent was talking to T'Challa, it's not like he was talking to a king.
Right. No.
He was like, "You lied to me.
Right.
Your daddy lied to me too. What happened to the vibranium, my nigga? What's going on?"
Right.
This is a fucking liar spy by trade. So when they discover Killmonger, he goes, "Nah, Killmonger is one of ours. He's CIA." So when Killmonger beats T'Challa, spoilers, kick T'Challa's ass and throws him over the motherfucking cliff, this motherfucker, he go, "Wait a minute, this nigga right here, that's CIA. He gonna destroy, he destabilizes countries. This is what we taught him." Wait a minute. Why are you in our secret lair with all the technology, asking questions about shit?
Right.
That one lady said the shit right. She said, "You gonna bring him here?"
Right.
He is held by oath to go back to his
He's
country
held by oath to go back
and
to his
tell
country.
them what he
And
saw
tell them
here.
what the fuck he saw.
That nigga ain't loyal to us.
These whiteys ain't loyal.
I'm just saying, in my video, I said they villainized the solution.
Yeah.
Because they made
yes.
Killmonger such a fucking dick. Choking women, old
Killed his
African
own
ladies,
girl.
killed his girlfriend. Like, he's wild. He's straight hood. But he went to MIT. He's a CIA agent. He's all this shit.
Two PhDs.
He's two PhDs and super genius motherfucker. But he's a thug. He's Bobby Brown.
Right.
What the fuck happened?
What they really were truthful about,
Nino
about
Brown, sorry.
on with Killmonger is that everything powerful and positive about him came from Wakanda. All that other shit came from you. Grabbing a woman by the throat and pulling her up off her feet came from you.
But it didn't. It didn't
That's-
address systematic racism. Didn't address classism.
No.
Didn't address the economic gap.
No.
Didn't address the technological gap.
No.
Didn't address
Was it
none of
trying
this shit.
to though? Was this
No.
movie trying to like go? I mean, I haven't seen it obviously, but here's one thing I will say. So you have Black Lives Matter. You have all this tension that's arisen in America over the past decades. So what do some people do in some office somewhere? They think, you know what? How could we exploit the angst of the black community and make a bunch of money off of it?
How about it?
Just like Mel Gibson in The Passion. How do I exploit the Christian community? You know,
We gonna beat Jesus'
Yeah,
ass
I'm not
in this
questioning-
movie.
We gonna bar fight this motherfucker.
Jesus
not
is
saying
gonna be
that's-
fucked up in this movie.
That was,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a snuff film. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A Passion of the Christ. We gonna fuck Jesus
No,
up.
that's,
They should've put that
that's
in.
part of the system contradiction is because everyone's motives are questionable. You know what I mean? Even if the people with the best intention in that movie, again, I haven't seen it, wanted to make a political statement, social statement, they still have to do it in a means that's going to be exploitating the very people they're trying to
Absolutely
help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, again, contradiction of our
Well,
social
well,
system.
well, did you actually expect Marvel Comics to come up
Well.
with a plot where Killmonger comes to his senses, hooks up with T'Challa, and T'Challa goes to the UN and say, "Look here, we got the real shit. We gonna make it right around the earth, okay? We gonna roll up on you and go, hey, really give the black folks they 40 acres and a mule. Really stop starving these people. Really stop oppressing these people. That's me. You got 30 days to do what I said. And if you don't, you're gonna deal with my cousin." That's the real
Yeah,
shit.
you don't want to see the
You don't
African
wanna see
cousin
that.
and the African American cousin unite.
No.
But again,
I'm not going to. I'm stopping this show. You are not going to go any further until you repeat that.
You don't want to see the African cousin and the African American cousin unite?
No.
And team up? Black Panther and Black Leopard out here wilding on niggas?
Man,
I would love to see that.
You do not want Malcolm and Martin in the same room on the same page.
So somebody in the chat room said it's not a documentary, it's a movie. But oftentimes movies imitate life and vice versa. A lot of times people get educated by movies. I'm going to say The Matrix.
Still educated.
Why you bullshitting? You can say it's a movie all day in America, but there's a motherfucker over at Stanford by the name of Leonard Susskind. He teaches quantum physics, right? He's a quantum physicist, and the newest model of reality is that we live in a matrix, a simulation. Elon Musk, all of these motherfuckers is on board with the simulation theory. So while you talking that was just a documentary, there's a movie, it ain't real. You got real physicists going, well, shit, the way the numbers and the models are coming back to us, our reality is being projected here from
somewhere else.
Somewhere across the universe. We have a 3-dimensional projection here made up of consciousness and information. And it's coming from a 2-dimensional source on the other side of the known galaxy. What the fuck?
Zoe Williams, gangster ass nerd.
I'm just saying, like, y'all motherfuckers be, it's just a movie. That's what they taught your dumb ass.
Yeah, you dumb motherfucker. And if it's just a movie and not a documentary, which ones do better, movies or documentaries? Which ones actually affect the social conscious on a grand scale, the movie or the documentary? Which one is more effective in a grand battle, a scalpel or a fucking axe? The fuck out of here.
Ryan
Hey,
Coogler,
when you
Ryan
fucking
I'm
make,
sorry to clown you that hard, brother.
right,
Really?
when you make comments,
The fuck
take your
outta here.
helmet off.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ryan Coogler, though, he wrote the movie, and so he took all of the best comic books from, all of the best things from the different comic books from the beginning to right now, to Ta-Nehisi Coates writing them. And so he was, listening to him talking about it, he was trying to deal with so many aspects. They had all these different things that they had to think about before they made the movie. So he was trying to deal with a lot of different, scenarios. Am I my brother's keeper? The
movie
African,
was great.
The African American versus the African.
I'm gonna say it was the best Marvel movie
I've ever
seen.
That was his first thing. He was like, look, we had to make a good movie first. So he was like, look, all this other stuff that everybody talking about, he's like the political stuff. He's like, we don't even think about that at first. The first thing we were talking about, let's make a good movie. And so he was like,
Biggie and Tupac.
Biggie and Tupac, Dragon Moore and Phoenix Moore.
Dragon Moore and Phoenix Moore.
That's what
that shit was there.
And that's what that was. And so he was, he was breaking down how he had to deal with so much. And he was like, well, we were thinking, like, okay, there's going to be so many eyes on this. How can we kind of touch on what everybody wants to see? And so he was like, okay, we have to touch on and let, black people see black excellence. So that was where the design and everybody
shit was awesome.
looking
And
so
the
awesome
weave,
and
the
great.
Shit looked like
weave.
Timbuktu.
Right.
The weave?
And so what he's saying is, so from that, you'll get he says so many kids will get a visual from that, and then that'll take them just a different way.
Right.
And so then he was dealing with the politics. He was like, okay, so I had to touch on the politics for the grown people. He said, so, they're going to get the black excellence part of it, but then we had to touch on what was going on in the politics. So he was
really
all over the place.
quickly, Ryan Coogler shares a birthday.
Oh, stop
with,
it. I should have told
Lord
you
Joe.
that shit before you came.
You know what I
Hold
say?
on, let me just.
Yes, sir.
We need silence.
Yes.
Stop it.
Turn the music off real quick. I just have 2 words.
Stop it, man.
I just have 2 words real
Stop
quick.
it. Stop it, yo.
Leave us.
Stop it, yo.
All right.
All right, no, play music.
All right,
Okay.
Stop it.
I don't.
Someone wanna explain that to me?
We're acting like and I'm not. And when I say we, I don't mean the people in the room. I mean as a collective consciousness, we are acting like the problems with black people are somehow a problem that has one solution.
Exactly.
Dude, I am
go, Jeff.
so glad. This monster has many fucking heads and is very fucking
Yes.
old. So you
Yeah, that's
cannot judge every swing that I take at it. And two, anything that greases the tracks for higher black collective consciousness is not bad.
Thank you.
I'm
All right, I
sorry.
agree with
It's
that.
So let's transition
okay.
because I have a couple more topics that I want us to get to.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to this one.
Can I say one thing though on the because we're dealing with communications.
No, you can't, white man. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we're dealing with communication. So what is it that really influences people? And the arts have served that role. So as a filmmaker, I wrote a book that's all intellectual, and then I make movies that have a lot of gesture because you want to sneak behind the ego.
Right.
So you're planting seeds when you use the arts.
There you go. That's what he's doing.
Sneak behind the ego.
I fuck with that,
You on
Jeff.
some pimp shit. You just don't know it.
Jeff, finish your thought. Then. I let
no,
the white man finish. I gotta
that
let
the
you
white man
finish
is on
it.
some pimp shit? No. I'm just frustrated with
Which is normal.
people expecting this uprising and this collective consciousness to be perfect. Anything that is birthed is gonna cause some pain. If you've ever seen a child come into the earth, that shit's not linear. The blood and
I watched
extra
a
shit
little
that
bit of
comes
it.
out of it, as much as you can stomach. The birthing is painful and
Not if you do it the
millions of
natural way.
intricate moving parts are said by a dude who never has to have a child. The
I've seen- I
millions
watched it.
of moving parts and
It's ugly, Jeff. Just
it's so much that goes into from conception to actual birth that you don't get to look at it linear. You don't get to go, okay, Black Panther wasn't perfect. It didn't do it perfect. So it did something. Do something. My father used to say this. Get up and go do something wrong, but do something. Don't sit on this fucking couch.
That's what your
go
daddy
do
told you?
Yes, go do something wrong and
we
come
have to
back
call
here.
Child Protective Services on this nigga. Get up and go do something wrong. What the fuck?
Yes.
You have to call CPS.
Yes,
What
because
the
if I do something wrong, I now have a point of reference to do something right
Okay.
that I would not have if I'd have stayed on the couch hoping.
All right.
I got that. open.
Okay,
There
the
you go.
callback. I like that.
Yes.
This nigga's a comic. Okay, good shit.
Did I hit you with it?
It's fine. I mean, you thought it was a strong point. I'll let it go. Okay, here we leave us.
I thought it was a strong point.
All right, so transgender boy wins girls state
I love this
wrestling
one.
title
I love
for
this.
second time.
Interesting.
Oh shit.
That's a tough one.
Fuck. We've got to deal with it.
You're not a girl. You got extra testosterone.
Strong ass boy.
It's like a boxing situation. How do you navigate who's got the advantage when you're dealing with different genders?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's tough. You'd have to really analyze the individual. Like the build of the transgender would have to be so similar to the average female build.
I think they should have their own division,
Yeah.
the transgender division.
That
Okay,
makes sense.
It is not fair. It is not fair because I like to watch TV on my stomach in furry flip-flops and eat chocolate while something is on the Hallmark channel that I get to wrestle you. What the fuck do those two things have to do with one another? You, okay? You goddamn Hallmark watching Sweet Pickles need to wrestle each other. Okay? There should be a transgender. If I want to see Stephanie, who used to be Mark, fight against Sharon, who used to be Chuck. That ought to be its own category, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you something. If my daughter was a wrestler, I'd go, excuse me, smam. But if you hurt my daughter, we gonna see what's up. Fuck out of here with that shit.
Nah,
and
you-
I hope you don't like it.
And I would say
I
this.
hope you call me. Smam.
I would say this.
Fuck out of here with that shit.
Peter made a great point earlier too,
You with that bullshit.
because first off, this is high school.
Yeah.
you're not done with your transition. You're not finished.
Right.
Like, if you have to be totally to the point where, and I don't know if this is possible. Like, I don't know if we have Wakandan technology that will take you to this level.
You're gonna have to drink a lot of that purple shit.
Right. So I don't know, like, I don't know where technology could take you to where you're just all girl. And then it's fair physically, because one of the things
We are not going to waste the purple shit on your foolishness. You were born a girl. Take your ass downstairs and fight with the others.
No, because stop.
Stop. You stop.
No, because one of the things that has always been an argument for men is I'm stronger than you.
Right.
So you talking all this shit, get it out, but get out of my face. I'm stronger than you. That's what men always say to women. I'm stronger than you. But now, in this particular situation, this was reported by the New York Post, right? This is this child's second championship victory in wrestling, and they're a trans girl, Mac Biggs, after defending
Mac Biggs.
Beggs, Beggs. Mac Beggs left after defending
Up to that.
state wrestling championship.
Hey man,
I'm
Mac
today, my
Biggs.
nigga.
Hey, I'm Mac Biggs. I want to be a girl. Hey Dave, then you go out with Stephanie, that bitch on the wrestling team, and she break your heart? Bitch, I'm gonna fuck you up. What kind of shit is that?
I'm gonna beat these bitches' ass today.
Oh my God! What would happen if I start just whooping on Mrs. Brown and she go, baby, what you doing? Bitch, I'm a girl now.
Oh man, that's
The
tough.
fuck is that?
That's tough.
Oh shit.
There's something happening in society where it's the gesture of equality. It's gone to a point that challenges basic limits. Are people equal? Are we equal? He's bigger than I am. I have blue eyes. I have brown eyes, actually. Everyone's different.
Stop trying to be like me,
Everyone
Peter.
basically is
Peter tried to
unequal.
claim blue. My shit ain't blue. My shit green. But come on, stop trying to be like me,
No, I'm
Peter.
gonna put you up on the game. You got to call it Hazel if you're in the hood.
So the PR of equality, and everyone should be for political and social equality. That's a whole different level. And economic equality eventually.
Right.
And that's what we should be striving for, and especially if you want to resolve all the groupism and antagonism and bigotry and racism and so on. That's the silver bullet if we ever get to that point where people galvanize. But this false notion of equality, let's have someone in their teenager turn into a woman on paper,
Right.
and then somehow make them equal with other
Into
women.
a woman on paper. That's hilarious.
It's just
Well, she's a paper woman. She can come in.
That's right.
but that's the way it's being presented in a sense. You know? I mean, I feel for these folks too. By the way,
Come on,
When
Stephanie,
someone's
come on
trapped
in.
their
Tuck your
body
balls in.
So it's not being incompassionate towards people that feel like they should be a different gender.
Right.
But there's a whole nother level of how the social contract's supposed to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll add one more thing to that because I think it's worth pointing out. One thing that I do like about the transgender phenomenon is it's challenging gender roles in a way that has never been challenged. As a man, you're a man. You're supposed to be fucking strong and you take after all the dominance patterns.
Like Mac Biggs.
This is challenging that thing. I think gender identity is actually really destructive because people are brought in to fit these roles and it messes them up. Why do men, like in India, for example, they had that big epidemic where they had the seeds. Nice. All the men took care of their family. It's their culture to take care of their family,
right?
Which is typical.
Right.
So what happened when the Monsanto crops failed, which they did across the board in the 90s? They killed themselves.
They attacked manhood.
Yeah, but it's that culture. I think
okay.
we got to get away from that.
I need two things.
Jeff's one of those kind of men.
Before I stomp through what you just said.
Okay.
There's one thing that I cannot let you leave the show without doing, and this is very selfish.
Okay.
I want you to just say into the mic, "This is the sun."
This is the sun.
God damn it! God damn it. Okay, I'm
Zeitgeist
fanning
movie.
again. It's the zeitgeist, dude, man. You know how many people. Okay, let me explain to you
That's
why
the
that
funniest
is.
statement too, because I'm pointing out the sun. You know,
Yes.
it's like satirical.
Let me explain.
All of
yes,
you dumb
let me
motherfuckers
explain
are
to you
worshiping the
why
sun.
that is so personal to me. Because I was going through a personal journey of revelation, and I looked through the ceiling, crying up to my God. I know I don't believe this shit in the book about you, but you done came through too many times for me.
Jeff, you're
Tell
emotional.
me the truth. Right after I prayed openly, weeping, tell me the truth. The next day, I was introduced to the Zeitgeist movie, and that's why this is the sun. That's why that fucks with me. Now, to stomp through
can I
what you
finish
just said about gender roles.
Stomp through what you.
I'm gonna stomp through all
my
that.
fire boots on.
I'm gonna fire all that.
Stomp
okay?
through hell.
My wife does not cook as much as me. I cook 90% of our meals at home. I do it because I'm at the house. I'm a comedian.
Jeff,
I got 23 hours to kill.
Okay, cool.
However, if you break in my house, that ain't on her. You fucking with me.
That ain't on her.
Right. Now I'm that nigga right there. And you don't even want to see that dude.
That
So
ain't
I
on her.
believe in gender
Well,
roles.
those roles emerge because, as he said, we have evolved as stronger.
Okay.
Physically, we're
Okay.
bigger and stronger. We can
Right.
dominate others better than most women can, and they've been cultivated culturally to not have that tendency. Like, I'm sure women can kick some serious ass in
Yes.
martial arts.
Oh, you're
and things
gonna
that
love.
don't
You're
rely
gonna
on-
love.
But finish, Peter. Go ahead.
Just pointing out the
Jesus.
cultural.
This motherfucker.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Gender roles or whatever you want to say, they gravitate from a kind of determinism of who you are as a person.
Okay.
Even if I had a good friend that was 7 feet tall, that was straight muscle, yeah, I'm going to hide behind him if I get any kind of altercation. That doesn't mean he's more of a man than I am. You know
Yes,
what
it
I'm saying?
does.
Okay.
Let me finish your
If you hide behind any man in any altercation, that man is more than you.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck about your friend that's
Hang
7
on,
feet.
boy.
You know why?
Hey, Jeff.
Because you know what happens when you hit a man in the throat? You know what he says? If you hit a 7-foot man in the throat with your knuckles like this, you know what he says?
Same thing.
So I don't get
Hey,
it.
Jeff.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Hey, listen.
I'll shut up.
You're a little bit more man than me. I'm gonna need you to whoop this nigga's ass for a second.
Right. Look, you had me lost for a second. Okay, don't let that look, because there's two Zoes. Okay.
Okay.
The two Zoes.
Okay,
don't
let
play.
me get back. Let me
Okay,
get
yeah,
back
yeah,
to the
before
show.
we get-
Shit.
I love them both.
All right, let me get back to the show. We got 4 minutes to hit this.